Welcome to I'ma Talk About It. I'm Alicia E., empowerment coach and ancestral healer, and I'm here to teach you how to break generational cycles, self-advocate, and ascend to happiness without the guilt of wanting a better life for yourself. You don't have to choose the same path as those before you. You can choose a better way, your way. Because if we can each heal ourselves today, we can heal the world tomorrow together.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I have an amazing episode. This idea really came to me recently as the more I've been clearing space in my life, the more I've been calling in new energies, literal freaking miracles have been happening in my life. And so I wanted to spend some time talking about it, but I also wanted to kind of explain how I view miracles because I personally am not a religious person. But the word itself means it's surprising and a welcomed event that is not explicable by nature or scientific laws and therefore considered to be the work of a divine agency. So I got that off of Google, so you can Google it too. But I wanted to talk about that because sometimes in your life things happen, and whether or not you believe in spirituality or whatever it may be, energy, God, it doesn't matter, right? It really doesn't matter. Whatever it is, you feel very supported, and things that you thought would never happen in your life begin to happen, right? They become miraculous. And I wanted to talk about this because I see a lot of leaders online who are guiding spiritual spaces or teaching about manifestation, but not really giving you a clear foundation of what it may look like, what it may feel like, how to do it for yourself, and even getting past the idea that miraculous events in your life can actually happen, which is a huge part of, and I'm doing air quotes, like surrendering to your path or surrendering to whatever you want to call in your life. This is a huge part of that. And so I feel like when we talk about manifestation, sometimes it can feel a little ambiguous and really hard to achieve or welcome into your life if you don't know what the hell you're talking about or what it looks like, right? You might be experiencing these things and not know what to do with them. Or maybe you experience one or two things and you're like, okay, what do I do with that, right? So I'm going to talk about my own experiences, some examples of how you can really learn to follow the signs and what that feels like and what that looks like, so we can make this a little bit more tangible and you can call in a lot more aligned events in your life that you're really wanting, right? Some people say it's doing the impossible, but it's definitely possible. And you are blessed and supported by your ancestors and your guides and everyone on the other side, especially right now, the realm is thin. So ask them to reveal to you miracles. Just be like, hey, can you just show me? Like, I'm really trying to figure this out, but we're going to go into this a little bit later. But first, I want to also state that it's really important that when you're beginning your practice of manifestation or believing in miracles and calling in a better life for yourself, that you actually believe that things can work out for you, even in unimaginable ways. Like this one is a huge one. It's really letting your mind surrender to the idea that your life could look completely different in a day or a year or a couple months, and that it can actually happen. Because sometimes people will say, yes, I believe in myself. Yes, I believe that I can change my future. And then when I'm like, okay, like, how does it feel? How does it like look like, right? And you don't have to have the specific ideas, but sometimes they're like, oh, well, I don't really know. And so sometimes that tells me that they don't actually have the clarity of what they're desiring, which makes it hard for whatever dream life or manifestation they're calling in to come to them, because you really have to be tapped into what your heart is desiring, what your energy is desiring, and what your soul is desiring. So really beginning with believing that life can work out for you. Like, and honestly asking yourself, even in this moment, do you currently believe that your life can work out for you in the way that you are imagining, or be even better. Because sometimes, as my lovely coaches have said, sometimes our mind can't even fathom what's coming. Like, we've got ideas, but they're too small. They're literally too small. So I wanted to pass that knowledge on to you, right? Sometimes we can run into it's too good to be true. I know that this happens a lot. I've seen it firsthand, especially when I've been interacting with other friends and family where I want to share with them an opportunity and they tear it the fuck down. I had that happen recently. And I went on a limb to help a friend out, asked a family member, and they berated me and it was uncomfortable. And I just laughed and went away because I was like, I'm not even going to put my friend in that energy, because clearly they believe that this opportunity is too good to be true. And so that energy doesn't match, but the opportunity was real. It was real. And I didn't want to go down the path of explaining to someone what just happened and how they shut their own door. So I moved on, right? So understanding even for yourself that sometimes things could literally feel like they're too good to be true and be completely real. That doesn't mean that you go around and open yourself up to everything and then you get scammed, right? It's like still using your discernment, but understanding that things can look really beautiful for you, and that's okay. Like, it can literally happen. Like, literally, if you're the type of person who's like, sometimes I'm just always in the right place at the right time, you are one of those people. It's never too good to be true for you, because that is just how your energy works, right? And sometimes it can be about a resistance to ease. This is something that all of us are taught, especially as femme presenting people who are mostly listening to this podcast and on my page. We are taught to not make waves or to not go follow our desires, even if it means that's what would make us more comfortable. That would make us more happy, right? So we consistently put ourselves into situations that we don't feel ease in, that we feel quite angered in, and that we feel uncomfortable in and resentful in. And so we then build up a tolerance for like being uncomfortable. And so then when something good comes along, we're like, oh no, what the fuck is that? What do you mean I get to sleep and take naps and still make money? What do you mean, right? Like, when something comes along like that, like many of my clients who now work less and make more money, at first they're like, I just don't know. And it's like, well, it's okay. Of course you don't know. You literally have been taught for 30 to 40 years that you're supposed to be uncomfortable to be happy. I'm going to teach you how to feel comfortable and be happy and do less and make more money. So it's going to take a minute, but it'll happen, right? Like, sometimes we just have a natural resistance to ease, and that's okay, right? Because generationally, we don't have a baseline for ease, right? Unless you're kind of born into privilege, but even then it doesn't mean that aligns with your authenticity. So that one is a huge one to pay attention to, but you can find certain ease, like if you have a certain access to a certain lifestyle, let's be real. But if you're feeling that resistance to ease, it's okay, because it's perfectly new. So I kind of want to share fun little stories that have happened, because they seemed very unreal until they were real in my life recently. As I've, again, like, been clearing out energies that have just been not for me, doing a lot of my inner work, taking time for myself, building a community that have really come full circle right now. Like, I feel like I've been doing this for the last couple of years, and now it's kind of like really showing up in my everyday life. So just to start, like, what do miracles actually look like? In my mind, or in my energy, I like to say it's anything or any time or moment you feel fully elevated, happy, and blissed out, right? So anytime that you may have that physical reaction in your body where you're like shocked, you're happy, you're joyful, you're bopping around, you're blissed out, nothing can bring you down, you're experiencing a miracle. Or if you receive an opportunity and you feel really fucking amazing about it, that is your miracle, right? Like, things that you can't fully explain but are making you like overly happy, or things that like you never thought would align in the way they did, but did in the most perfect timing. Like that is also something that can be miraculous, right? But still gives you that feeling of elevation and happiness and bliss. So I kind of just wanted to talk about my experience with New Earth. As many of you know, I do events and shows through New Earth. They're amazing. If you're a vendor or speak or read tarot or do anything spiritual, I would look up New Earth. They have events all throughout the year, and they're doing now events overseas. Like they have one coming in Egypt. They have a bunch of stuff. That's amazing. But the last event I did, I just kind of took a leap. It really called to me. I followed my signs to be at this event and some of the other ones, but this one in particular in Oxnard, I had like the perfect table, the perfect people around me, the best support from my friend and her sister who drove down to help me. There were like synchronicities everywhere. There was a woman named Wendy who on her back had a giant peacock, which peacocks are like one of my things, right? We had a whole conversation about fairy tales and magic and going down the rabbit hole. And she told me about the World Music Center and musicians, which was funny because I've been dabbling in music again, which I haven't done for a really long time. It's always been one of my passions, but I've never just gone after. And it turned out her husband was upstairs making music while she was downstairs selling all of her goods, right? She was a traveling artist. And I was like, yeah, I know that your clothes are going to be mine. Like, you're going to dress me forever. Like, I was like, I'm just going to tap into that energy right now. But I felt so amazing at that event. And so good things just kept happening, right? I literally met a producer who was freaking amazing. We were channeling each other probably, and they're like, oh, you sing. And I didn't tell them that. And I was like, how do you know that? Like, how do you know that? And my friends were standing there kind of laughing, red, baffled, because they're like, I don't really know what's going on right now or how he knew that. And I was like, sometimes things are just what? Miraculous, right? Which then led me to writing a meditative song, which I am going to share soon, which I channeled at the water, and it was really, really fun, which then led me to experiencing a talk by another amazing poet, artist, musician, rock star. And now we're going to jam out on an app called Shmuel, which I've never heard about, but it's like you start diving into these communities and soul tribes that you never knew existed, right? And then the day just got better. Like, because I wasn't fighting it and I wasn't like, oh, this is too good to be true. I was like, oh my God, all of this is true, right? So then I met the beautiful soul Karina, who brought me on as a reader, who's also an independent filmmaker and is building a community of healers. It will have like land to help and open up to the community and wants me to help with that. And then I met Lapong, who does serpent fire. Like, I don't even know. She's wildly powerful. And Steven and other like spiritual folks, Oliver, the traveling poet, Natasha, like literally all of these people. And before this event, like maybe a month before, I had opened my energy up to meeting all of these fabulous people, to calling it in and being okay with it coming in whatever miraculous way it wanted to come in. I wasn't like, I'm going to need to like go out and interview people so that I have friends. I was just like, no, I'm just going to go and I'm just going to be open to it, right? Your energy has to be open. Then I met Alion, who's like the African art trader who helped me embrace my African name and my lineage and taught me about Ham Ham and sharing knowledge and Wolof, like all of these things that have just helped me so much on my journey. And again, having one of my best friends from college who like I haven't talked to in forever and is now a part of this beautiful family and this beautiful journey that we're on, them coming to support me in my talk, right? Like I did a generational talk and inner child healing, and we all meditated and we cried and we laughed, and it was a group of us just doing ourselves, right? It was so much fun. Like, and I didn't really have to try hard. And I've got my beautiful coach named Elle, who also helps me with singing, which I love because it's very, very healing. And it opens up my heart and my throat and my energy and all the rest of my chakras. So it's like things that you try to box yourself into are probably not the miracles that you are wanting. And I had to learn that. I had to learn that. And it took me a little bit to learn that, right? Like, why is it that some of my biggest manifestations are halted? One, I had to clear out my energy, but two, I had to let go of what it looked like. I had to fully fucking let go. And I had to just follow whatever was around me, right? Whatever was around me. Meeting all these people, which, mind you, I've also talked about on another podcast and other YouTube videos. Like, now we are in the time of coming together as a collective. So we are going to be manifesting together. You should now be open to receiving help from everybody because people are helping each other out. You can't follow your dreams by yourself. Like, it's just ain't going to work. It ain't in energy. So it's not going to be fun for you. So if you're trying to manifest anything right now and you're doing it on your own and it's frustrating and it's not coming true, it's because you can't do it on your own right now. Like, you need to have help. You need to have support. You need to have people who love you. You need to be in the frequency of love and happiness and joy and feel held and feel seen unconditionally, right? That is what you need to manifest it, because all of that led me to now perhaps doing poetry in LA. A friend sent me that, right? And now I've got multiple opportunities with multiple people across the US. I'm now choosing between, do I go to Charleston? Do I go to Nashville? Do I go to Ojai? Do I go to LA? Or do I go to Houston? Like, what am I doing? Who knows? But I never, ever thought it would happen like this. Like, I never thought, like, 3 or 4 years ago, that I would have such a massive community and such, like, a massive amount of opportunities and the least amount of stress. Like, it's just so, like, what other word do you have for it than other than a miracle? Like, it's literally a miracle. Things have just happened out of the blue. I kid you not. Like, just out of the freaking blue. Or if you watch, what is it, New Girl? What does Nick say? Out of the boo. It happened out of the boo completely. And what also just popped in my mind, I don't know why it did. I think it's Lucky Charms. It's like, follow the road wherever it goes. Is that what it is? It's like a Lucky Charm commercial. I love little jingles. I'm pretty sure it is. But anywho, just be open to experiencing something new in your life and believing in miracles, believing in yourself, believing in something bigger or more energetic than yourself. It doesn't have to be like big as in intimidating, but like bigger. Dream bigger. Like, literally, don't dream small. Don't dream like, I'm gonna like do this. Like, yeah, you can do whatever that small thing was, because I didn't have an example, but like, you can also dream even bigger. Try to expand even larger, because you can manifest it. You absolutely can. The energy is here for you. And use your gifts. Like, I know that a lot of people listen to this podcast are extremely gifted. And I was also getting a lot of like nudges about people not using their gifts. So tap into your gifts, especially right now in October. The veil is really thin. Ask your ancestors to help you use your gifts. But you can also ask that it be revealed to you in a really soft and easy way or steady way rather than all at once. So you can actually sleep. But use your gifts, because they're being heightened, they're being accelerated. Yes, you are going to feel very like psychically attached to your friends and probably your family, maybe even your animals, or to what's going on in the world. Like, if you're feeling really heightened right now, you're not alone. Use your gifts to help yourself out and help other people and manifest a better outcome for yourself. Like, truly, truly believe in it. Like, and just let your energy go, because you never know what might come out. Because every day that I've taken the last couple weeks to truly open my gifts up to something different, new ideas have just come flooding in. New projects. I have 3 new book ideas. Like, I literally can barely keep up with them. I can't stop making podcasts. I'm going to go live on YouTube after this and probably do a general reading and maybe astrology signs, because that's just calling to me today. And I'm going to be manifesting a really beautiful trip and event to Sedona through New Earth, which is going to be really fun. And I'm going to take some time to relax as well. So whatever you have on your mind, let it go for a minute. Lift your energy. and then call it in. Call it in and then let it go and believe that things can truly, truly happen for you, even if it's just for 1 minute a day. Just for 1 minute a day. You can do that. Like you can, like you just even listening to this podcast is going to help you manifest it, because you're going to feel like you have the tools to do what you actually want to do, or to manifest what you want to do, or bring in those miracles, right? So look also beyond the numbers and feel your dreams. Like angel numbers and synchronicities are beautiful, and they get more and more intense the more you manifest at a very high frequency. Like you'll see if anybody manifests at a very high frequency, or if you have like any sort of psychic gifts and things like that, you will start to see how heightened they get. It will keep coming, but can you look beyond that? Because there's so much more than just the numbers. Everybody talks about the numbers because people tend to float around in that energy, but can you look beyond that, right? I look to the animals. I know when someone's on my page or sneaking around or gonna come talk to me, because I always get visited by birds. And it's like they rat themselves out. There's things like that, right? I've learned that from other teachers as well. And even if things pop up on your phone, right? I was literally thinking of a new book idea this morning, and then I got a notification that said, here's the perfect outfit for your new book. And I was like, okay, cool. Right? Like little confirmations like that. Or I was sitting at my desk and I was like, should I get this deck? I don't know if I should. I really want it. And then the TV says the same name as the deck. I kid you the fuck not. I kid you not. And I was like, okay, getting the deck. Like when you start to pay attention, things just flow to you. You don't even have to like try hard. You let the universe take the wheel, and your miracles just become your everyday life, right? So look beyond just the numbers and feel into your dreams, feel into your life that you are desiring, and let the miracles happen. So feel love, feel joy, feel happiness, feel companionship, feel community, feel it happening easily. This one is a big one. Sometimes people are like, oh, you know what I gotta do? You know what I gotta do to get there? It's like, are you trying to manifest yourself doing that? Like, I'm not. Like, feel into things happening for you easily. Don't manifest something happening for you very difficultly. But you know what I mean. Don't let it be difficult. Don't manifest the difficulty. Feel into it happening easily for you. And if you're a person that writes manifestations, especially because today is Money Day, it's Jupiter Day, I love it. Thursdays, depending on when you listen to this, if it's a Thursday, great. If not, do your manifestations anyways, but really do it on a Thursday. Feel into that ease. Write ease or easily after every line. Like, I am sitting in my brand new pink Corvette, and it came to me easily without having to pay blah, blah, blah. Right? So that is just an example. So like use easily in there and be specific about how you want it to kind of come to you. Doesn't mean it will come to you that way, but you can put that frequency out there of like, I want it to kind of come as a gift. I want it to come as a gift. Just have fun, honestly. Like, make yourself laugh. Do your manifestations, and I kid you not, the miracles will come. And I just want to say before we end this podcast is literally ever since I wholeheartedly chose myself to this level, like this is a new evolution of who I am, and it's just only going to go up from here. Like I have so much time, so much energy now. I'm taking care of myself in a whole nother evolution, right? Ever since I chose myself, everything has changed. Literally the minute I made that decision and I told myself I'm choosing myself now forever and always, amen. Not like a prayer, but like literally I like went to this vendor and they had this pink ring and I bought it and I was like, now and forever, I love you myself. Put the ring on my finger. I was like, This is just a reminder again for me to always continue to love myself. 10 minutes later, amazing things started happening. Because something else that popped up, which I loved this reader, I can't remember who it was talking about this, but it was like sometimes spirit won't deliver something to you unless they feel like you're not going to like abuse it. So sometimes if you want a lot of money, but then you don't know how to handle the money, which is very similar to hoodoo. Like if you don't know what to do with it, or you're going to misuse it because they already know what path you're on, then it won't come to you. So make sure that you are in the frequency of what you are actually desiring and have the clarity of where you kind of want your path to go. It doesn't have to be super specific, but be in the energy of it being authentic, rooted in love, grounded, intentional with where you are ascending, and also for the collective as well. Like that one is a big one. By also choosing myself, I also chose the world and the collective. Like, because when I choose myself, I can put more energy into my business. I can put more energy into my products, into coaching, into my podcast, into showing up in the community. So that's more likely to be able to gravitate larger things, because I'm not just doing it for myself. Like I literally love everybody and I operate from a place of love. That's why I give so much away. So being in that frequency that's higher than just yourself is going to be amazing, but in a really authentic way. And that's why I also spend a lot of my time coaching other healers and other, light workers or coaches or teachers, whatever you call yourself, shamans, because they are doing beautiful work and it's not just about them and they understand that, but it's like, we also need to make sure that you're taken care of so you can actually do the work. So keep that in mind as well, and keep your energy open, keep your mind open. And I will say that ever since I chose myself, aside from my gifts exploding, my energy is more free, like I said, and my mind is quiet and open. So that is another shift that you'll start to see when you start to choose yourself, is that your mind is more quiet. It's not running rampant, although sometimes it will, depending on your meditation, taking care of yourself and who you're surrounded with and what media you're around, but it's been quiet and it's been open. So I'm able to do the things that I love without fully hitting a block. I mean, obviously there's going to be blocks sometimes when things are new or a hurdle, but I'm able to receive more from energies around me or from the universe or from my ancestors because it's quiet enough for me to do it. If you're not receiving messages, then your energy and your mind and your body and spirit are not quiet enough or open enough for you to be able to receive it. So that's something to also keep in mind. Another one is my heart is open and it's loving. I talked about this in the last podcast and I talked about this in my YouTube. I'm ready to receive gifts, experiences, and people who come my way. Like I'm a very open person. I don't really hold grudges towards people either. I'm very forgiving, but my heart is open. It's not closed. So I can also regularly go towards love because I keep my love flowing. I don't shut it off very often. Unless, of course, maybe I hit a time of trauma, which it can be really hard, but it hasn't been like that in a really long time. Because I've learned to not do that, and it's never served me when I've been healing. Like keeping my heart open has always been the best path for me. So think of it that way. Like, is your heart open to the life that you are wanting to receive for yourself? Like truly open, or is it slightly shut off because you might be scared, or you might fear failure, or you might fear that it could never happen for you, or you don't know how it could happen, right? Like pay attention to those subtleties, because that's going to tell you whether or not your heart and your energy are truly aligned. So keep your heart open, be open to receiving gifts, experiences, and people who come your way, because the people who have walked into my life have literally changed my life in the last month. And I am forever grateful to them. And they're all literal miracles. Like they literally are. I don't know where they came from. They're like unicorns. They're loving. They're articulate. They are emotionally intelligent. They don't rely on my energy. They help themselves. We share in resources. Like it's very odd, but I love it. So understand that you can also have that in your own life. And to remember that even if you open yourself up and allow things to come to you, it doesn't mean you're allowing your life to go not on your terms, right? You still have freedom to do what you want to do. In fact, you will have more miracles in your life if you follow what you want to do rather than not following what you don't want to do, right? So go towards the things you want to do and be more authentic, and more miracles will happen. Your life will become literally miraculous, right? So continue to be at peace instead of feeling worried. That one's going to be a really big one. So before I go, I just want to invite you all, even just for today, to just let go of your schedule if you have the time to, or pick a day to do that. Fully let go of your schedule. Like put your phone on do not disturb or turn it off. Like allow your expectations to leave you. Allow yourself to experience freedom, and your life will literally become a miracle. So I am leaving it at that. I also just want to say I'm going to be opening up a new workshop that's going to be really fun. It's going to be 90 minutes, and it's called Miracles and Magic Mindset Workshop, where we're going to dig in a little bit deeper and do some meditations and do some manifesting on our own. And it's going to be a hoot. It's going to be so much fun, and I can't wait to share with you all. So stay tuned for that. It'll likely be open next week or the following week. I'm still deciding depending on how many orders gotta fulfill and this workshop, but stay open for the date. It is coming. I would love to have you all there. It will be very accessible and just a lot of fun. And if you haven't already had your ancestral soul tarot reading or your fly with me session, I highly recommend doing it, especially during October. The veil is thin, energy is high and rampant as fuck right now. So you're going to receive a high frequency message that is going to just catapult you into the future. So definitely book your sessions, and your fly with me sessions do go towards more than worthy. So if you paid for a fly with me session, you can decide within that month to put it towards your more than worthy, your first month payment. So that is fully open to you as well. So that is an option. You just have to ask me about it, and I will get you all set up. I do have openings right now for one-on-one sessions. If you are interested in that as well, it's 6 months of healing and joy and laughter, learning how to self-advocate, learning how to manifest. I also teach you how to take care of your body in a holistic way. So I look at what you're eating, how you're sleeping, what you are doing in your day-to-day life that could be hindering your mental health, and just aligning your energy and helping you also show up in the world as your most authentic self, as your empowered self, as your confident self. So that is also available to you. You can check it out in my show notes. Those are there. So on that note, I am signing off. So thank you so much for showing up today. Thank you very much for showing up for me and showing up for yourself. And that is a wrap, my friends. And I cannot wait to talk to you all soon.
Hey, if you're ready to ascend to happiness and live the life you've always wanted, join me in my Empowered Living Facebook group for socially conscious healers, witches, and spirituals, and sign up to get my free Empowered 5 Practices to Ascended Happiness guide. It's helped others expand their consciousness and soar beyond sight, sound, and imagination in just one day. It's the catalyst you need to embrace your magic and change the world. Just click the link in the show notes, and I'll see you in the group next time.